With how good the YSL RICO trial is going for Young Thug, it is leaving some rappers and fans very confused, as there was reports in the beginning of the trial that this would be the end of Young Thug, and that the Atlanta takeover is now beginning and the YSL RICO trial would put Young Thug in prison for life. However, now we are starting to see artists tweet this YSL RICO trial doesn't even seem real. Either Young Thug is snitching low-key or he paid everyone off, as there was thousands of replies to this tweet of fans saying the exact same thing and agreeing. As even today during the trial, the YSL lawyers called out the state prosecutors for being able to talk the ears off of a donkey.
For giving me the moment to speak. Thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting the state earlier, but the state can talk the ears off a donkey. This continued filibustering has got to stop so that opposing counsel can speak.
Making the entire YSL RICO trial seem like an absolute joke. And obviously the state prosecutor didn't appreciate this at all. She would then stand up and begin arguing so much that the judge and even an officer had to make her stop.
At some point, Your Honor,
I'm sorry, I'm talking, and I don't know why I'm being interrupted. I will not stop.
Hey.
I was speaking.
Ms. Lowe, y'all got.
I'm sorry, I was speaking.
Both y'all can't talk at the same time.
I know, I was speaking, and I expect to be allowed to speak when I'm speaking.
Hey, both of you all need to just take it down a notch.
And so, Your Honor, if I may finish, because I was the one speaking before Mr. Weinstein interrupted.
But you continually engage in this pattern of behavior, Ms. Love. You don't want to accept my ruling.
Your Honor,
and I know you're being an advocate, but at some point, stop. Just stop. I made my ruling. Good, bad, or indifferent to you.
As while everybody inside of the courtroom is arguing back and forth and getting nowhere, Young Thug was seen trading his snacks with another YSL member, watching the arguing and just laughing. Making it very clear that not only will the YSL RICO trial take over a year to end, but nobody is even taking it serious. And with how many parties are involved in this entire RICO case, it is costing the state of Florida millions of dollars to have the court sessions every day. It was then finally for Thug's lawyer to go and take control and make everyone focus on the task at hand. He would end up calling out the Atlanta Police Department for lying about the evidence against Young Thug, which goes and reads, "I'm about to show you why I don't believe the city of Atlanta the police department at all."
I have
no recording of who
Detective Lewis at the hospital, Grady Hospital, September 11, 2013, meets with Walter Murphy. And Your Honor, as my eyes roll out of my head, I'm about to show you why I do not believe the city of Atlanta Police Department at all. This is served in discovery. I will mark it Mr. Williams C and D. And then you tell me if I'm supposed to believe the allegations from the state of Georgia.
This is then when it would get heated inside of the courtroom even more, and let me explain. The judge would end up calling out Young Thug's attorney for stating the Atlanta Police Department is not lying about evidence. However, Thug's lawyer is convinced that they are, and that the Atlanta Police Department are corrupt, and they're trying to sneak in evidence to make Young Thug look guilty.
Well,
Not conceding that?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth.
Yeah, well,
you have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge.
It's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It's not. It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
In the September 17, 2000.
You are saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
How could you say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
As the evidence they're discussing is all based around Adrian Bean. The Atlanta police are trying to use evidence against Young Thug that Adrian Bean told them back in 2013. However, Adrian Bean now in 2024 is saying that he doesn't remember giving this evidence at all, and that the original report goes and reads, "Unlike Trontavious Stevens, Adrian Bean is not bound by a plea deal. He was part of a 2013 crime where 4 people were involved but 1 escaped and never was caught. They need Bean to snitch on Young Thug like he did with the police in 2013. However, now he refuses. So Adrian Bean in 2013 snitched on Young Thug. The police were telling Bean that he would be facing several years inside a jail, so he gave up all of the information on what happened in the crime. But because the police took over a decade to start the RICO takedown of Atlanta, Adrian Bean has now forgot about the crime in 2024.
After you answer the question, which you have to do.
Because I don't remember nothing that happened in 2013. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand. What I have to do is ask you some questions and determine what you do and don't remember. So, what is your response as to whether or not you recognize the images shown in Defendant's Exhibit number 8?
I don't remember.
All right. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit number 81. Do you recognize what's shown there?
No, ma'am.
All right. What about number 101 for Defendant Exhibits?
You see a car, but I don't remember it.
Okay, that's fine. Is your answer the same for Defendant's Exhibit number 82, number 89, and Defendant's Exhibit 90?
Yes, ma'am.
As this is where the rumors of Young Thug paying off people started coming from, as some sources are claiming that YSL members could have paid off Adrian and his family to not snitch on Young Thug. However, some actually do believe that he did forget about the crime. It did happen in 2013, and Adrian has also revealed that he went through a lot of things within the last decade, from being in prison, having issues with narcotics, etc.
I really don't have any knowledge about 2013, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't really have any knowledge about 2013. Once I have went to prison and came home from prison and done my time, everything that happened in 2013 or whatever has been put behind me and set forth. So I've been, working and just doing my thing since I came home from prison. I don't have no knowledge of nothing that happened 10 years ago.
So now with Adrian Bean not being able to provide the evidence that he shared with police, Young Thug's lawyer is trying to argue that this evidence shouldn't even be allowed, as the only person that can confirm it's real is Adrian Bean. This means that the only evidence they truly have against Young Thug and all of the crimes that he was allegedly a part of comes from the police investigator, who has been following YSL and Young Thug for over 10 years. However, Thug's lawyer called him out for not even using Google for information about Young Thug.
Did you hear that, Detective?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, when you gave your testimony yesterday about you've never heard anyone describe slime in the way you just heard on Mr. Williams' number 142, did you ever do a Google search?
No, I did not.
Did you know that question was coming?
No, sir.
You had no idea that the state was going to ask you that question?
No, I thought you meant your question.
No. Yesterday on direct exam, you knew that question was coming, right?
I did. I knew the state was going to ask me what slime meant, yes.
And did you do anything in preparation to say, I want to make sure my testimony is accurate?
I did.
But you never bothered to Google music?
As the veteran police detective didn't even Google about what the word slime means to YSL members, as we would then even see YSL snitch Trontavious Stevens give the definition of what the word slime means. However, the investigator believes that he was lying.
Word slime, what does it mean?
Good question. That's a good question. So, the S is for slum, the L is for love, the I is for I, the M is for me, and the E for everything.
That is the only thing that slime meant to you when you had that tattoo put in your body.
Yes, ma'am, that's what it means to, that's what that tattoo means to me.
Is slime ever used in any other kind of way? As by you or any of the people that
like breaking it down?
Yeah.
Like breaking it down how I did?
No, like the meaning of the word slime.
No, it's slime.
So due to the investigator looking lost on the stand, the state prosecutor had to come in and help, as the prosecutor had to bring out their best evidence against YSL and Young Thug, which goes in a report that reads, Young Thug was named as an alleged firearm man in the 2013 incident during a 911 call played during the YSL RICO trial.
Okay, so who was
I have no idea, babe. I promise I can't tell y'all that. I don't know. All that I know, she came to my house and told me that the guy that shot somebody named Young Thug, what it's supposed to be. Somebody named the guy is in her house. So I don't know how y'all can do that. I'm trying to get her out the house, but she wants the phone now. Okay, all right.
Now, online lawyers are revealing the feds had no choice but to release this evidence early because of what Young Thug's lawyers has done lately inside of the courtroom, as the jury is likely believing that Thug is innocent and they're going to vote on his innocence later on in the month. But what really won the jury over and will likely have Young Thug released from prison is what his lawyers did to the investigator, as Young Thug's lawyer had a hunch that this guy wasn't actually investigating anything, so he exposed his lack of research.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, you went through that entire Tumblr account to educate yourself for your testimony for the jurors, am I correct?
No, sir, this is the only post from this Tumblr account that I've reviewed.
You didn't look at all of Mr. Williams' Tumblr account?
No, sir.
How did you know to review this one picture?
Well, when the state asked me to review these particular tweets, this is one that was linked within one of the tweets I was asked to review, and I was asked to review this post from that link.
You weren't curious to know what else is on that Tumblr account?
I was not, no.
Well, since you come back, I'm inviting you to look at it if you want to, but every one of those posts has to do with music. Do you realize that?
Objection and hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
As what really won the jury over was when he would stand on business and challenge the investigator to go home, do more research on Young Thug, and then come back with an answer.
Do you know, as you sit here, what all the other Tumblr posts deal with?
Objection.
Basis.
It would be speculation because he said he has not
A
reviewed.
standing objection.
You do me a favor. If you come back, which I'll call you if you need, I want you to review all that Tumblr, okay?
Sure.
Account. And then you tell the jurors everything else that's on that Tumblr account, okay?
Sure.
And tell them if it has anything other than music-oriented promotion, okay?
Well, I would say even this photo has more than just music promotion.
That's great.
As doing that inside of a court setting is practically unbelievable and never really done. It really just makes the investigator look like a joke and kind of an embarrassment of the police department, of having their main investigator at 10 years not even doing his job. The investigator had to share some sort of evidence though to make the court look like he knows what he's doing. He would end up exposing 2 rappers in the industry for having street ties connected to Young Thug. He would first go on to expose Lil Wayne's affiliation to the same street team as Thug.
And are you familiar with who this individual is?
I am.
And who is that?
It's Dwayne Carter.
Okay. And does he have another name that he goes by?
He does.
And what is that?
Lil Wayne.
And are you aware, through any of your non-trained experience, if Mr. Carter, Dwayne Carter, self-identifies as a member of?
I believe that he does.
Okay. Tell the jury if you need to stand with the stick and point to what those identifiers are within Defense Exhibit 31.
There's a large MOB across his chest, often used particularly by West Coast, but is used across the country. He has 5 red 5-point stars across his chest.
As the investigator is trying to prove to the jury that rappers likely do have street affiliations. The second rapper would be YNW Melly, as the 2 rappers were involved in a Facebook post together where they are seen self-snitching on being connected to each other's street team.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, hanging with Doug, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with the 5-point star as well. Mr. Devins has big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
On top of that evidence, the prosecutors really only have other small evidence, but you tell me if this is enough to have Thug behind bars, as the investigator would share an old video from Young Thug's recording session for a music video, where he is seen self-snitching by throwing up hand signs.
Did you see Mr. Williams putting up any identifying signs within that first few seconds of the video?
I did.
And what was he doing?
He was throwing the B's again, the 2 guns, and he also threw a 5-point star.
In that particular portion at 1:30, do you see Mr. Williams throwing up any?
I did.
And what did he throw up?
He threw up the 2 guns again.
Why that is so important is because of the crimes that Thug was allegedly a part of was at the exact same year that those old music videos were recorded. But things would get even crazier as the officer would reveal that there is more evidence of Young Thug being a part of a street team, as there is several videos of him self-snitching.
Now, have you had the occasion to view any videos with Mr. Williams in which he either himself self-identifies or associates himself either as a member of Rock Crew and or a member of YSL?
I have.
How many videos have you seen?
I don't know the exact number, but a few.
Okay. For the purposes of this testimony today, have you seen 3 specific videos as it relates to this testimony today?
I have.